Hello everyone and welcome to another beer review. Now, today we have our first Turkish beer on the channel today. So today we are doing EFES. Ooh. Now, when I was looking for another beer and I was in B&M a couple of months ago really, I found this when I was looking for it. I never actually found what I was looking for, but I did find this and I forgot about it because I bought this at the same time when I bought the Caffreys. So it gives you an idea of roughly when I actually bought the bloody thing. I hope to God it's still in date. Woohoo! Just, no, it's in date. And it's in a Mediterranean beer, it's 5%. I think it was about £1.30, £1.40 a can. It's a 500ml can. And I actually think this is actually, what does it say, expertly brewed and lightly hopped, expertly brewed and a light hoppy aroma and refreshingly smooth, rich taste, just like beer from the Brest Brewhouse Brest from the, oh God, I made a right arse of this. Try again. Rich taste, just like beer, fresh from the brewhouse tap. There you go. Managed to get it done now. An absolute arse of that, didn't I? So there you go. It's EFES draft apparently, and it's got look. It's got a nice little hat on. Ooh. Now where's it brewed, by the way? Does it say where it's brewed? Just say it's brewed in Turkey, by the way. Just say that. It's not as if it's made or canned or done under anything else. So yes, this is actually, yeah. It's from Turkey, there you go. So there we go. Mediterranean beer. There we go, with this wee cap. Oh. Now, let's peel it off. This is stopped getting the dirt in and about it when you want to get your lips round about it. That's why they have that, so you can glug it straight from the can. Jesus, it's not coming off easy, by the way. But yes, there we go. Ooh. There we go. Ooh. Novelty. Right. Let's get this cracked open. Oh, oh, jeez, it's cold, by the way. It's been in the fridge for a while. Probably one of the reasons why I forgot about it. But it's very chilled. Which a Mediterranean lager needs to be. So it does. I'll be totally honest, I haven't had, well, I'll tell a lie. I had EFES in a nice Turkish restaurant. God. Must have been about end of January, start of February time. I think it was roughly about. I can't remember if it was a draft. I honestly can't remember, but it was quite nice with the meal I was having. It was a nice grilled Turkish kind of spread, and it was really nice. Superb. Really nice meats and things like that. So I can say that EFES goes well with the grilled meats and vegetables. Get that in your label, boys and girls, eh? Anyway, I'm one of those moods actually today, because there's a lot going on. I was reading up on the latest beer news. Now, before I get my laughing, I want to do a quick Instagram, the whole series. And I was reading up on the beer news. Now, there's a few different things that are coming out just now. So, Timothy Taylor is doing a celebration ale for the coronation. So look for that coming out. And that'll be an interesting one. I want to try that, so we'll try everything I can to get that. And feel free, if anybody does get it, then feel free to share your thoughts on it in any of the comments and any videos that I do from this point forward. Because I'll enjoy just to kind of hear and listen to it, because I don't know when I'll get it and when I'll get a chance to review it, but I will be actively seeking that because I think that'll be quite nice. Well, hopefully it'll be quite nice. What else is happening? Budvar is doing its first collaboration with another brewery, and we've picked Thornbridge in the UK. So apparently they're going to be doing a collaboration on a Pilsner, apparently. And what it is how it's basically shaping up this collaboration is that they're using the Thornbridge Brewery. Thornbridge is supplying all the quality UK ingredients, and Budvar from the Czech Republic is going to be providing the recipe and the kind of brewing technique and all that kind of stuff. So they're kind of being the kind of brewing consultant in the relationship. And apparently it's coming out quite soon, and it's going to be called Checkmates. Czech as in Czech Republic, and of course mates as in, oh, aren't we all chums together? So that might be nice, and it could be, as I say, it could be a big hit, or it could be a bottle of shit. We don't know. But anyway, that's that coming out. And today is the start of the biggest Southwest Beer Festival in England. It runs, this is the Thursday the 19th, so it's running from Thursday the 19th, Friday the 20th, and Saturday the 21st. I had to think about that, by the way. That just shows me on the body. 19, 20, 21. Well done, you. Yeah, so there you go. I have to think about that. But apparently that's the big one. There's over 300 beers. Unfortunately, quite a lot of them are crafty. So if you like hops and you piss your frillies over that stuff, then get down there and enjoy it. If you're more a kind of traditionalist, then stick to the cider. But yeah, I mean, there is traditional beers and things like that. Unfortunately, they have got a bit hoppy mad over the last few years, so I don't really go to it because, you know, and I've had a few kind of, how would you say, heated discussions with some of the people there about whether beer really should be having that much hops in them and everything else, and I was told it was the way forward. I was also told that by one guy that Carling is really one of the best, if not the best beers you can get. So it tells you the kind of arseholes that kind of frequent that place. So this arsehole is not going this year. I'm refraining from it. Yeah, so. But yes, apparently that's the future of beer, is hops. Fuck the malt, it's all about the hops. So there you go. So whether you agree or whether you don't, that's what I've been told at this biggest Southwest Beer Festival. And what else is happening? There's something else. There's another confab that was supposed to be happening. I can't quite remember now. There's another one. Was it Elva? Elva. They're basically doing some sort of confab with Hess and Blumenthal as well. There you go. So I'm sure that's wonderful. And if anybody's a fan of the beer channel, you know, the craft beer channel, because we have talked about it in previous videos, just a little update that Johnny is offering an online training course on how to make videos about beer. I think it's roughly about £25 for the online course. I think there's discounts if you're basically members of certain kind of institutes. I think one of them is the Guild of Beer Writers and things like that. So there is discounts if you're a member of certain kind of beer associations or something like that. But anyway, so there's that to kind of look forward to and enjoy. There you go. So that's all the kind of beer news I can give you at the moment. All the exciting stuff anyway. And yeah, as you can see, the beer is nice, crystal clear, kind of golden straw coloured. What does it smell of? You're getting kind of light malts. Again, you get a little bit of kind of acidity, that kind of slightly salsa smell. And that's it. So yeah, you're just getting light grains, some very, very light pale malts, and a kind of slightly kind of lagerish smell because it has that slight salsa. And that's it. So let's see what it tastes like. Right. I think that is the same beer actually. I think it must have been EFES draft that I had at that restaurant. And I will say, it went down quite nice because I had a few bottles, about 2 or 3 bottles, which is fine. That's enough for me for this type of beer. And it did go well with the kind of more kind of grilled meats and vegetables, more of the kind of slightly barbecued and things like that. But yeah, It went down very well and matched it in. So from that point of view, I can't really complain. So if you're going to any type of barbecues and you're looking for a good beer to go with, then I would say the FS Draft does tend to kind of tick them boxes if you really want pairing suggestions. And you know that I love that. And I will do all I can to give you all the best advice I can. No, but seriously, it did actually go quite well. But you want to tell me to fuck off, you're quite entitled to. Because I've certainly told plenty of other people to do that with their pairing suggestions for beer. So I am a hypocrite, and I'm quite happy to be so. So yeah. What else I am. Yes, but anyway, yes. To get back to the beer, it's actually not too bad. It's that kind of light Mediterranean beer. There's quite a bit of sweetness to it, but not sickeningly sweet, but there is a bit of sweetness to it. And it just makes it that little bit easier to drink, so hasn't got any kind of sharpness. It's not a really strong, crisp, dry finish. It's quite a light finish on it, and we'll break down the flavours in a minute. But there is this kind of underlying sweetness that just makes it quite easy to drink, and I could probably see a lot of holiday makers getting wired into this from that point of view. Does it actually taste as if it's fresh from the tap? It depends. There's a wee bit of carbonation, and I wouldn't say that it's the best mouthfeel. It's just maybe from my kind of personal preference, it maybe just slightly a little bit more carbonated than I would like it, but it's not too harsh in the mouth. But just when you first taste it, just get that little, kind of bit of that kind of effervescence feel in the tongue, a bit too much, but then it kind of dies down, and of course it's not a big problem at the back of the mouth, so it's not ridiculously carbonated, but maybe for me it just doesn't need that little effervescence, maybe a little bit too much where it just kind of accumulates at the front of the mouth when you first take a sip. But let's break down the flavours. Right, start off, nice pure malt, bit of grain, underlying sweetness right at the front of the mouth. Moves up in the mid-tongue. The malts kind of slightly die down, get a little bit more grain. You've still got the underlying sweetness that hasn't really kind of died down a bit. It's almost as strong as it was in the front of the mouth for that first initial taste. But you start getting little accents of acidity, just little kind of slightly salsa accents. So it's getting that little bit of acidity change just kind of coming in the mid-tongue. And you're getting a little bit more of that in the aftertaste. The grain kind of dissipates. What's left of the malt flavours, they dissipate in the aftertaste quite quickly. And you're just left with these little kind of salsa accents. And the last thing to dissipate is the kind of underlying sweetness, which has kind of dropped down a little bit, but still quite prominent. But it's quite a light sweetness, but it's quite a nice one. It's quite, how would you say, it's quite cohesive. It's working with all the different flavours and just keeping them all together. So it's a nice foundation without it being too sickening or overpowering. But it just makes it that a little bit more sessionable, a little bit more easy to drink. It doesn't have that any kind of sharpness. So yes, and I think with that it probably goes easier with food because of that. So because it's easy to drink, it's quite easy just to kind of go along with kind of stronger flavours because it's not going to look to try and compete with them. It's just really to kind of help lubricate the throat, that type of thing. So yeah, it's easy to drink, not a bad price. It's a nice alternative to a lot of the mainstream piss waters, and I would say it's nicer than the mainstream piss waters from that point of view. So the mainstream piss waters, they're usually around about 3 and 4 out of 10 is what I would give them. So in relation to this, what would I give this? Well, I would say it's slightly above average actually. I would say, yeah, it's quite kind of nice, kind of pleasant. I could probably go for a couple of, well, I have went for a couple of these when I was eating. So proof of the pudding, and I was quite happy with them. I think what happened was I did order them as because FS Draft, and I actually thought it was going to be in tap, and then they gave me a bottle. And I'm thinking, because that's why it kind of clicked in my mind, because I thought, oh, we've got EFES and draft. Oh, well, I'll have a glass of EFES. So I said, EFES draft, not a problem, thinking it's going to come in a glass. Yeah, it came with a glass and a fucking bottle. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, well, that's not what I had in mind. And that's what it stands out, but it went fine with it. And of course, there was plenty of food to eat, so I thought, right, I'm going to need another one. So I got myself another one. See, the good thing was I wasn't paying for this. It was the oldest boy that was paying for it. So it was his celebration. So normal kind of Russian traditions, whoever's celebration it is, they have to pay for it. So that type of thing. So he was paying for that. Although coming up, my birthday's coming up fairly soon, so the next one's going to be me paying for it. So I'm going to be dreading it, because everybody thinking, well, he had 2 beers the last time, because they like that type of thing. You had 2 beers, I'll fucking make sure I'll get 3 out of them this time. You know, that type of thing. You know, people keep a ready reckoner on the go here. You know, like tallies going on. Yeah, he got 2 the last time. I've got to get at least 2, maybe get another one out there, so I'm 1 up. So yes, so yeah, I'm going to give this a 5.5 out of 10. It's above average. I find it quite easy drinking. It's quite nice, quite pleasant. Would I recommend it? Yeah, especially if you're eating grilled meats and vegetables. But don't use it with spicy burritos. So yeah, 5.5 out of 10. It's 5% alcohol. 500ml can, roughly about £1.30. I think it was at B&M. I don't know. You maybe get it other places as well, but I did see it in B&M in the can. I did get it in the bottle when I was in the Turkish restaurant in Exeter. So there you go. And by the way, if you are in Exeter, there's a good Turkish restaurant in Sidwell Street, just along from the Greggs. Definitely would recommend it. It's very, very nice and good value. And probably have to book a table because it usually gets quite busy. But there you go. And I'm not sponsored, I'm just trying to be nice. What the fuck am I doing being nice? Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye for now.